All right. I do not trade on Mondays very much anymore. I think I'm going to retire Mondays because, well, if you look at it yesterday, that was probably some of the worst price action I've seen in a very long time. There was one massive move, but even though it chops and it starts going upwards over here, these contracts do not pay out. You have to catch this move exactly or this move exactly, and there's no volume as you can see down here. So Tuesday through Thursday, maybe sometimes Fridays are going to be like my new trading days. I feel like I just waste a lot of time in front of the screen on Mondays, and I have also the marketing company as well. So I got to focus up on that on days like that. But trading is obviously my big passion. So I'm looking at Tuesday through Friday is going to be my main points of going live to trade. And I am really liking this play right here. I look at this 409. This is my support level that I'm looking at on the daily chart and the 1 hour. So I know I have a ton of lines over here. I do see below that 409 a push down to 407.50 potentially, which would be pretty crazy, but it is off of this most recent resistance point that is acting as support, and it's also acting as support over here 2 separate times. So we could see that 407.50, 407.75, but I'm just going to be patient. I'm looking for a nice little call contract. I wanted to get one at this 409 bounce, but it did not pay whatsoever. It's at 245 to 285 for these 4120s. I'm sure I'll probably have to go up a little bit higher, maybe like 4115s. They're going to be a little bit more expensive, but they'll probably move a little bit better. We are forming a nice little bear flag right now, though, so I am kind of being patient. Even these ones only move 50 cents, so this could end up coming up here. If it tests this line, maybe I'll end up taking a put contract for that breakdown towards that 407.50, but to me, this looks like this is probably pretty exhausted from being sold off so much early in the morning, and we'll probably get a little push up. So I did miss out on that 409 bounce that I was playing for. There's a couple things that I want to talk about. There was that Spotify. This is a good trade that I took earlier this morning in my non-streaming account because streaming is a little bit tough for me. But this thing popped up to 145 early on in the morning, and the reason that I took the puts on that after that push up was the fact that this had a 137 gap fill, and I was looking at it right here. So it ended up opening up around like 142. So there was a massive gap on the charts from 143 to this 137/138 area. And once it popped up to 146 at open, that was an extra $4 jump up that I was like, okay, there's no way that this has that much sustainability. The spreads were very large, so I ended up buying the bid a little bit closer. I didn't buy a ton of them, but the gap fill, the moral of the story is the gap fill. When you ever see a gap fill up like this, it is always a good risk to reward ratio to take it either on the downside if it's a put, if it's filled gapping up, or gapping below, same thing. So if it's gapped down all the way down here to 124, I probably would have been looking for anywhere from 125 to 130 calls for that retest to fill this gap. So it's just one strategy that I like to play, especially after earnings reports. They always have a lot of volume right at the beginning, but now it's starting to die off. So not a lot of opportunity in Spotify there. I know we have a ton of earnings after the bell. We have Google. Um, we also have Microsoft. We also have, I know there's a ton actually. This week is going to be massive. We have Microsoft, Google, Enphase, Visa, and Chipotle. And tomorrow we have Boeing, Meta, Roku. So that could be pretty good. Cloudflare, that's a nice one as well. Amazon on Thursday. And I know next week is the behemoth. But we had McDonald's and Verizon and Spotify today. So I am kind of looking at Google to see if there's any sort of opportunities. I probably am not going to play any of these earnings just because this consolidation area is just ridiculous for almost every stock. There hasn't been a ton of opportunities anywhere across the map, just volatility wise. I mean, if you look at the SPY, I mean, these look like big moves, but these are just chopping all day long for weeks now. So I'm really looking forward to this earnings play because I think that we need that volatility spike back. And the only other update that I have on my end is I just got my alert to go long on coin. I know people might not believe in crypto or anything like that, but I'm going to start scaling into some shares here. I'll probably start selling some puts realistically before I buy them, just so I can collect some premiums. But I think I might sell some like $51 puts over here just so I could collect that premium before I get exercised. If I miss out on it, then at least I collect a couple $100 just by selling the puts. But I think I'm going to go long on some of these shares back up towards this like 80 to 90 mark. I think that Bitcoin and crypto is setting itself up and expanding the Bollinger Band. So if I look at Bitcoin real quick, it went on a massive run, and now we're seeing a nice little pullback. But I play the Bollinger Bands, right? So I wasn't looking to go long on coin here because I was expecting a sell off on crypto here at some point, but now it's starting to expand itself. So once it starts heading down below, probably towards this 26-ish area, I'm sure we have another $1,000 down on Bitcoin before we start seeing that reversal. But at that point, I think 35,000 is in the future, or 32,500, because I feel like once the Bollinger Bands start to expand, we're on our way up. Same thing with Ethereum down here. I think that this got crushed. Obviously, I have a big position in Ethereum, but once this turns around and crypto goes, I got my alert on Coinbase to continue to go because one, Coinbase makes money off of transactions, and if it's bullish, this thing goes with it. As you can see, went from 31 to 90, got pulled back. The next Bitcoin run, we went from 50 to 83. Now we're getting sold off. So I'm looking for around that 50 area, 51-ish area, maybe a touch below, maybe 48, but to run back up towards that 70, 80 mark. You buy 100 shares of those, it's only $5,000, and it could make you about 4K. So really good opportunities. You could also sell cover calls if it continues down, and you could always set a stop loss as well. But coin is one of my biggest watches, and it's very cheap. So 100 shares, only $5,400, could end up making you about $3,000 to $4,000 in the long run. So just something that I'm watching. SPY is another thing that I'm watching to day trade today. Looking like this is going to pull back down to this below this 409. Could be a nice little bear flag again setting up here, but we will wait and see. One of the easiest plays today was this pop up towards this VWAP line around 10 a.m. and then that low of the day break. The reason for that was right here. The low of the day pre-market level was right at this 409.86. We kind of bounced at 410, a little bit above it, but we didn't actually break through it. So once we saw this rip up, and I saw some sell side coming in after that 10 o'clock news, there was another try to jump up and another gap down. This next candlestick was a big payout. So not too confident on the downside right now, especially when you start to see this bear flag. It tries to break down, then you see a green candle. I'm sure we'll end up breaking out above this. There's not a ton of opportunity for it right now in the SPX. Like that move only made $30 a contract. So no trades for myself just yet, but there is one coming here pretty soon. Looks like Tesla has some room to head out towards that 163. Tesla, I have also a long-term vision on here now that we're getting sold off quite a bit because it was at 207, getting close to 220. It's down to 160. Another 100 shares here. I know it's more expensive, 16,000, but could easily make you about 4 to 5K, no problem. Even 6K if it gets down to that 150 mark. So I have an alert at 154.86. I want to see a little bit more blood around this 150 area. And I'd probably throw the house around like 145. So that is what I'm looking for right now in Tesla in terms of long-term situations. I think the market's going to pull back very large in the next, probably starting this week. I mean, it's already starting right now, down $3. Selling may go away is a real thing. So just be careful of all that. And on this little pop-up, I might end up waiting for this VWAP level to take another put contract. We are at this downtrend. So if you're looking for a put contract, this would be the area to do it. This looks a little bit too strong for me to end up playing that because, one, you see the nice little, the bottom bounce here at a support level at 409.06. It didn't quite hit that, but close enough. And then it runs up a little bit here, tried to bear flag, and now you're seeing a bullish engulfing pattern to break above this. Most likely is not going to pull back. I don't think that I would take this rejection on this line. If you do, more power to you. It looks pretty good. These calls definitely just went up $100 a contract, but I'm not looking to play those just yet. It's early. It's 10:48. On this live stream account, I did take a little bit of a trade on an SPX, I won't lie. So I'm already up 140 on the day. I got one before I went live. Right away, I took this little put. But I am looking to take this above 500 to 1,000, and let's see if we can get a good trade for everybody on the live cam. So seeing this breakout, most of the time everybody understands that I preach the breakouts, right? So never buy the actual breakout here. So now that it broke the downtrend, people would buy calls. I always wait for the retest, right? So if it breaks out, you're going to see a premium spike as you are seeing right here. It's not a big premium spike, but it's still a premium spike. So it goes up a little bit, let it consolidate, let it chop around for a second, let it sell off, and then play the bounce here. That's how I attack these downtrend breaks all the time. If it breaks below me, my stop loss will be very, very low, right below it. So I won't lose a ton of money on it, but on the pullback, I will get a premium spike down. So I'll get it really cheap, and I'll keep my stop loss, $30, $40 right below it, get in, get out. And if it's 10 contracts, it'll be $300. If it's 5 contracts, it'll be about $150. So it'll be really small below on this retest, but I don't want to buy this premium spike because one, this just went from 400 to 500, but you just saw that as it pulled back to here, it went from 420. So you're losing $70 a contract by buying this breakout. So be patient, wait for it to break out. If it continues to go and it just squeezes on you, then it's better off to miss it than to buy something that's overbought and buy something that's overpriced. So I wait for the breakout, a little bit of a chop session, a little pullback, and then once we retest this downtrend, a bounce. Same thing for an uptrend. If it was this way, I would wait for the stock to bounce on it. If it broke through it, I wouldn't buy puts because it broke the uptrend. I would wait for it, a green candle here, to retest it, and then I would buy some puts there. These ones are a little bit harder because buyers are always a lot stronger than sellers most of the time unless there's bad news events. So my stop loss will be like right above the uptrend as well. So that's what I wait for. So yeah, exactly. You always got to wait for the consolidation in order to take a position. So this one right here, see a nice clean breakout. Most people will be like, okay, bullish consolidation here. Not worth it because we'll watch these contracts go from 500. Now you can wait. They might go up to like 600 a piece. They might go up to whatever. But once you see this sell-off right back down to test this downtrend or even just a little bit, watch how much they get crushed. And that's why people get stopped out so much. That's why people that chase opportunities lose. And yeah, I mean, I had the opportunity here to buy at this 409. This was my original game plan. I missed it. And here we are. You know, they're up $160 a piece right now. But now if I want to buy calls, I'm going to wait because I missed this actual bottom. Tesla on the run. Did I just say that was going to 163? Or yeah, it did. And it did. So I could have got that. Didn't get it, but I could have. I did say, I think I skimmed over that this could go to 163. There's only a few stocks that I trade. And Spotify was kind of an anomaly today just because of the earnings report. I saw it and I saw the massive gap up and I saw some opportunity there. But I really only like to trade Tesla and NVIDIA, SPY, and SPX. That's really it. And the things that I'm holding long right now are mostly just the TQQQ. This is all I got, basically. I got a lot here. I'm going to start dabbling into coin, and I'm going to start dabbling into Tesla a lot, too. I'm going to take some cash and throw them into those just because they're sold off. But I don't have a lot of long terms right now. I don't believe in the prices right now. I don't believe in a lot of the stuff that's going on in the market, and I don't believe in holding a lot in May. I am going to hold the TQQQ for a while because it is a larger position, and I'm already up $5 a share on it. But I can see this thing going crazy. I feel like everybody that's seen me is probably annoyed of me telling about the TQQQ, but I am going to start selling some calls on this here at some point. But here's the weekly chart. I mean, this thing is just, all it does is track the QQQ. So as soon as the QQQ can get its legs back underneath of it and go towards that 408 level, damn, I mean, let's just calculate this real quick. It is triple leverage, so you have to be aware of the decay. But one, I'm up on the position. Two, I think it might go lower than my cost basis, but I'm gonna just buy more because I think I'm in a really good state right now where the economy is definitely in shambles. But even if the market corrects and pulls back, I don't think it'll be too extreme. So let's do 313 divided by 409. So that's about a 24% increase from here. So 24% times 3. 72%. Yeah, I mean, these could easily put themselves, the TQQQ, if the market stops at 408, which it wouldn't. But if this starts to enter into a bull run, you know, this has a 73%. These could easily be worth about 50 some dollars, 60 to some dollars. This could get back to close to like 53, if not 60. My target sell would be around $60. At that point, I would have, you know, I mean, I have a shit ton of shares. So all those shares sold at 60 would be a nice little 200% gain. And I would be walking away with a new car. Brand new car. Maybe even a house, honestly. But all spoken in theory, so I just got to wait. Notice how this consolidation is coming back down after that little TQQQ rant. Let's go back to the chart now that we see our opportunity. See what I mean by chasing these? These were already at 536. They just sold off $100 off this this little play. So now I'm going to wait for this test and this consolidation. Could see probably a little bit more down here. I don't know if I want to buy them at 41.15s. We could do 41.20s if we wanted to. Keep them a little bit cheaper and see how much those are. And they could go above 400 easy. So I might scale into 1 here. It looks like it's trying to sell off pretty hard. So I don't know. I will wait right here at this level. I'm going to put probably a limit order at 260. Just 1 for now until I can see if it bounces at all. I'll put 1 at 250. See if we can get some love. So this is exactly why I don't chase that. So right, it went 240 to about 350, so it went up about 110 a piece, but then it just completely got destroyed after that. So I still didn't touch this downtrend. If you're gonna buy it though, it's probably best to buy right there. I just missed that entry. Damn it, it just went from 310. Dirty bastards. Still feeling a little bit weaker here. I don't know if this is going to be a good bounce play or not. Let me just take a look at the daily is going to be too crowded. I'm just going to watch this. I'm watching the 15-minute. Might switch this to the hourly chart real quick just for a little bit more closure. That looks weird as hell. The market is just in such it's almost in limbo. The 30-minute looks good though. This looks like a nice little reversal, but that could easily have a nice little red candle back down to low of the day. So I'm just being cautious on what I do here. I do have these limit orders down here. It's only 2 of them. I think I might end up beefing that up to about 5 contracts because this looks like it's a pretty nice downtrend breakout. I really want to see this 409.50 test. The TTM squeeze over here is getting a lot lighter. The volume is getting lighter, which is not the best sign. But this is kind of setting up almost like an inverse head and shoulders already on the... Oh, that's the 5-minute chart on the SPX. Let me move that to the 15. 15 could be a nice breakout here towards that 4115. It's pretty sad I didn't get it at 260. That would have been sitting pretty. Apple's going. If Apple's going, then the market's going with it. You're right. Apple just kind of consolidating. I also just missed out on that SPX. I have to move that back over 1 second. I mean, these could go to 700 a piece. So, I mean, these could fly. These contract premiums are really nice today. We just don't have a lot of movement. And I missed out a little bit on that trade. Would have been nice if I grabbed more, but I wasn't really that confident. This thing looks like it's going to go above this VWAP level. I may or may not have missed this. So this pullback was nice right there. It didn't really exactly touch here. Got close enough, kind of, about 10 cents away. But I still have those limit orders at like 160. Now that it tried to break out and is reversing, that kind of freaks me out a little bit. So at that point, it feels like it's weak. I always have more confidence when it's a red candle to a red candle then a bounce. But if it's red candle to a bounce then a rejection, doesn't feel like it's very strong. So I actually might end up having to cancel these because this could easily bear flag and head down. I do have another support line at 407.50. So this could be a pretty bloody day. We're already down 282 on the S&P 500. Could be a nice little $3, $4, $5 drop day. We haven't had a massive red day over $4 in feels like months. So, but the 15-minute chart is showing a true sign of a reversal here. If we can close above 409.86 on that 15-minute chart, which is about a minute and 30 seconds away, that'll push this even higher. So this little 409, whatever line this is at, 409.86, is a key level of resistance that it's trying to test right now. If it gets above VWAP, it's going to go. I'm not in this trade right now. If you caught that bottom, I had a limit $10 below. Would have been a nice couple $100 on 2 contracts here, especially if it pushes. These will be worth about 5 something. As always, you don't need a lot of money to make a lot of money, especially if you know how to play the SPX, because I mean, this would only be 2 contracts here at 260. So I mean, that's like a little over $500, and they could easily make about 300 to 400 a piece. Not a piece, $300, $400 total on two. But this looks weak for the breakout. I'm not really liking the fact that it's trying hard and not working. 15-minute, 30-minute. Now the 30-minute looks good. I have seen massive downtrends before with a hammer, and then it kind of just sells off entirely. But I don't think that we're in that kind of market right now. Spotify had good earnings. People are talking about how cloud might get destroyed, and AI stocks are kind of ramping up a lot of this rally. But I don't know. I don't believe that we're gonna just continually run the whole time. I am a little bit concerned that analysts are definitely dropping their earnings estimates pretty nicely. So we could easily beat earnings and kind of deceive the fact that companies are not making as much profit as they should be. But they're saying they are because they dwindled down their expectations. So always keep in mind that there's an analyst out there that's kind of just screwing over the markets. Gives you false hope. For some reason, I don't think this is going to break out to the call side now. I don't know what it is. It is consolidating at this level, so that's a good sign. Nice little pullback here. 5-minute. Looks pretty good to reverse, though. Could see a nice little VWAP touch right there. I might take a put at that VWAP now that I'm seeing like this very, very weak movement. I'm pretty upset that I missed that entry at 260 though, because they're already up 100 apiece, and they're probably going to go up 150 apiece here in a second. But yeah, there's definitely strength on that. If you caught that, congrats. I would probably sell around this VWAP level, around this 410-ish right now, 360. Take that $100 a contract, or $80 a contract. Would only been 2 for me. At that time, I was hoping for a little bit lower. I was going to go for 5 contracts, but just didn't play out that way. I might look for these 4,100 puts now. They're at 3 and 295. They were 720 a piece. These things could really start cooking if it gets rejected hard, which it started at that 410. That 410 is really strong. It's right at that VWAP level too. So if you took the puts on that, I don't really want to buy that drop down because what was that? 280. I mean, I've seen this a million times, and usually right here on this, you can see this get engulfed by another red candle all the way down here. So this next 30 minutes could be pretty bloody, and this doesn't have a strong breakout that you usually see. Usually if it's coming down and consolidating, you'll see that rip right away. It is trying to consolidate, so maybe it's not coming all the way back down. Maybe it'll retest and then start to go, but it is consolidating this area, and I honestly would not be surprised to see this 407.50 today. That is a huge support line, and we are only down 288. The market could sell off easily. I know we haven't seen one of those days in a very long time.
How do I quit my 9-to-5 job?
Oh, jeez. Sorry about that. Now we're running. I'm looking for this 3. I think the best entry for me on these would be around 310. I missed out on that 410 put contract. I was waiting for this up here as well. I don't want to. When you trade the SPX, you almost have like to have perfect entries. So I still think that this could easily come back down and go to low of the day, maybe head towards that 408 level. But I am going to give it a little bit of time. I'm going to be a little bit patient here because I'm not exactly sure which direction it wants to go now that we're in that like little dead zone. I do like to play the Bollinger Band reversals, which I missed this one. And now that it's coming back down, this one isn't showing me a lot of strength to get above this VWAP level. If I were to go puts, I kind of want to do it at this 410/410.10 VWAP level, but I just need these to be a little bit cheaper. I don't want to buy them when they were just $120 cheaper. I'll go 3 contracts here. We're getting a lot more volatility today, and this thing is kind of spiking down, so that's pretty brutal. There's two ways we could do this. And I think this is going to be one of the bigger trades today for me. You know, even if I only buy like 3 or 4 of them, I can still make a quick little $500, $600 and walk for the morning. So what I'm looking at, there's 2 game plans here. We still have not tapped that retest of the downtrend that we were in. So we could easily see a nice spike down. And then that bounce that I was looking for right here that we didn't exactly get, which is still a possibility after this bullish engulfing pattern. But if this red candle gets all the way down here, it kind of just is a fake breakout, right? The sellers took it all the way back down. So we could either wait and take the bounce here, which I wouldn't feel like this is much of a bullish sign, but potentially because the 15-minute chart is running a little bit. And I am also have my finger right here on these 4,100 put contracts, Joey, because if we can get a little bit of a spike up and get these a little bit cheaper, I would probably try to buy them around like 320-ish. Kind of looks like it's curling down a little bit. I think I kind of want to just dabble in one just in case, because these things are going to run to 700 a piece. Below 409.50, I have lost all confidence in the call side of this, which is right here. So that's that line. I think that if we bounce at this for a little bit, I could end up probably taking this, but this looks like it's starting to form a nice little inverse cup and handle, which we could see this level, and then it could just die, or it'd have a nice little bounce at low of the day and then die down to this 407. So I really do feel like this 407.50 is in play. I know that these colors are all over the place. Let me make the yellow low of the day. Boom. This would be my target for the sell. I'm going to make it red because that's when I would start to sell for that support line. I'd probably end up selling way before that, but you understand the drill. And I kind of just like see, this isn't really a good resistance point. I would say this 410 is probably more so the point you want to watch. That's the thing, is like you could have a nice risk management strategy right here and buy at this level right here and have a stop loss right around that 410 break, which would probably be about $60 a contract, which is still not the best. But I don't know, we're starting to head a little bit lower. We keep bouncing off these a little bit. Not a ton of volume, a little bit of volume right here. But in my experience, this is a nice little curl. There's not enough volume and buy side to push this just yet. If it comes, it's going to come out of nowhere. Kind of looks like these $4,100 puts are the move, and they were just 700 at this low. They'll probably be worth about 900, maybe to 1,000 if it breaks down towards this 408. So they would go in the money. I don't know how I feel. I don't know how if I want to go for it. I might go in one, just dabble at this 3.80. And I'll set my stop loss like $40. It's not letting me in though. I have the limit at 3.8. I don't know if it's going to let me in, but that'd be cool if it did. I would keep my stop small, still stay on profits on the day. I know it's moving real slow right now, but that little curl, if you can see that little curl, that's exactly what I'm looking for the downside. I've seen that happen many times. Got filled at 380. If this starts pushing up towards this, I will stop myself out, but it is just one contract, so I'm not going to be too upset if it starts to squeeze on me. You can tell that these contracts move pretty nicely too, so I am already down $40 on just the one, but I am going to try to get like 5 of these for that breakdown. It does kind of look like it's forming that consolidation pattern though, so this might be the reversal pattern. If it gets above this 410, I will stop myself out on this. Just one contract. I got a little eager to get in there, so if there's a best entry point for some puts, it would be around this 410 / this VWAP. But this is starting to look a little bit more bullish. If I end up going down on the day flat, that's okay with me, because I haven't been able to take a nice trade just yet. If I go in a nice trade, it's going to be like right here. Probably this 410 break above this VWAP line. It's trying to go. If you're going in on the put side, I would probably do it right around this area. Keep your stop loss small above the 410.20. I might go in on more. I'm only in on one. Get my average down a little bit here. I might try to go 2.90, get my average down to 3.30 because that's an easy make back. This one's going to be a tough trade though. Looks a little bullish though, since it's starting to push back up. If it gets above this 410, that is an issue. I would scale in. Yeah, this is probably the best time to scale in at this. I'm just a little bit worried of the squeeze because if it gets above 410, it could start squeezing up a little bit. So I'm just going to be very patient on getting more. I would set my stop loss above that VWAP if you're getting in right now. Or scale in above that VWAP for that rejection. This is pretty bullish off of this candle. So if it continues, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm only in one, so it's not a big deal. I'm down about $90 on the contract. It's if I want to go in now, this is the time to go. But it does look bullish on the 15 a little bit, but also kind of setting up a bear flag at this 410. So could go either way. If it squeezes above this VWAP, I will stop out of my one. But something is telling me that I should probably buy just one more for this reject. Starting to catch some legs. I'm going in one more, and I'm going to set my stop loss pretty small, like 230. If you're in at this level, then you are sitting pretty. I got one. If it squeezes on me, then I'm probably going to lose. Let's see, my average is pretty high at 320. So I'll lose about $200 if it gets to 220. And I'll be down about $80 on the day. So I'll set my stop loss at 210 here on two contracts. I'll probably end up getting more if I can see any sort of pullback. But this looks bullish now. So if it stays above this VWAP line, it's most likely going to squeeze its way on up. I got a little bit too eager going in a little early. But if you're going in right now, use that little eagerness as a lesson. This looks bullish to me, though, with this bullish contract. So don't look for the put side exactly if there's no volume, because this looks like it could squeeze down unless you see a massive red candle. Pretty bad entry, but I'm still up $30 on the day. I'll look for a better entry on something if this ends up stopping me out. But as of right now, I'll only be down about $80 on the day, just giving back a little bit of love. But it could still pull back here, so that VWAP has to be squeezed upon. It looks like it's trying to after that all-day sell-off, but we'll have to wait and see here. I think that this would be a good entry for a put contract. If you're just now getting in, it wouldn't be the worst, but keep your stop losses small because there is a nice little resistance point at this 411 or 410.20 from earlier today. My account is lagging like crazy again. I'm going to try to go one more here and set my stop just $20 below. Get 3 of them, put the average down. If it stops me, it stops me. I'll only be down about $100, but I hope you guys can see how bad this lags when I try to trade on this. This is why I trade a much smaller account when I'm on live. $320. I'm going to try to buy one more at $250, which would be an extra $30 if it stops me out. Which it should stop me out right here if it gets above 420. So I'm fighting a losing trade. That's what is going on for me right now. So I don't recommend getting into something in the middle And I'm most likely going to be stopped out. I'll be down $100, which is fine on the day if it doesn't end up rejecting this 4120 level, which it might not, honestly, because it's kind of just sitting there and consolidating. But I'll be flat on the day, or at least down $100, and I'll look for a better entry here at some point. I hate how this lags so much when I trade live. I got to get an Ethernet cable or something so I can do this a lot faster, because I feel like I'm lagging behind what's actually happening real time right now. But have some faith. I'm down $10. I'm up $5 on the day. I'm only down 15% on the trade. If it breaks above this 410.20, I will stop out, and I'll be down about $100 on the day. But if we can get that rejection level, I'll probably continually add, because I see some sort of potential for a bear flag on the 15-minute chart, but I just need to see some more weakness. So if you got in at that VWAP break, you're sitting kind of good right now. I don't know. You're not the best, obviously, because these are still at 245, but you have minimal risk with some nice downside opportunity. So if we can get a nice little red candle here, that'd be cool. The consolidation is probably going to kill me on the SPX, though. I got a bad fill. I bought literally right before it started squeezing up. Got to stick to the game plan, which was always the VWAP. So I added in a little bit here, fighting a losing trade, but it's only $127, so could turn into a good profit here if we can start getting that spike down. But it's going to take a lot of volume and hopefully some better internet, because this is ridiculous. I'm going to need to see below that 410, but it's kind of using that as a support line now. I think Theta is probably going to squeeze me out at that 220 level, 215. I could buy a fourth one here and try to get this below a 3. Oh, it is below. It's 295 is now my average. Could be a nice little spike if we can get this down below this 410, but it looks like the buyers are there. I kind of bought into the chop here, so if you got in, let me know. If you got into bullish rejection scaring me a bit, may get out. Let's see. Joey, yeah, just keep your stop loss small. If you got in at that VWAP, you're sitting pretty right now. I'd probably keep your stop around that 220 mark. It's only about a $20 to $30 loss. On the other side, you can make back like $150 a contract. Doesn't look so good though. Looks like I'm going to get stopped out here in a second, and I'll be down about $90 on the day. Pulling this down to 215 for 1 second because it could reject this 410, 16, or 20 one more time. You can see how slow everything is going for me right now. It's hard for me to be active on the chart when it's just lagging behind. I might already be stopped out. I'm down 40 on the day. Still holding. Yeah, I'm still holding it. I just can't. My stop is at 215, so I'll be down about $100 if it stops me out, which is fine, but I just hate the fact that this is so laggy when I trade live. I got to figure this out. It's not very beneficial for you guys, and I don't want to lose money just being behind. Damn, this is crazy, this chop. I'm going to get stopped out right here, and I'm going to have to reassess. Down $100. And I got to figure out this Wi-Fi issue. Every time I take a trade, it just like completely lags for me. I wish I got in at 240. Joey, what's your cost basis on this, on the put side here? It looks like the buyers are trying to keep a hold of it right now, and they might push it back up to that 410.20, and I just got stopped out at 210. So let's see what the damage was now that it's like 20 minutes behind. Down 115. So gave back a nice little 250 there. On that pullback, I got a little bit greedy here. I would have been a lot better of a trade if I waited for this VWAP line. I don't know if I would stop myself out if I was in your guys' shoes, if you got in at that VWAP. But I only had 3 contracts, so I was just waiting, and this is lagging so damn hard on me. I want to be able to trade alongside you guys, but, I mean, you guys can see how in and out this is. Tesla getting a nice little pullback here as well. SPX 4.97 average. Oh, you what? 4.97 on the 4100s. They're 211, man. You might be those might be toast. 3.97? Oh man, I would get out of those, dude. That's a pretty tough hold. They're down to 185. It's pushing pretty nicely too. You got to keep your stops very small. I don't know the size of your account, so maybe that's small to yours. But even if this is a $17,000 account, I would probably still keep my stop loss no more than like whatever it just was, like $80 a contract, and that's even high. I don't think that this is going to go to low of the day right now, but at this Bollinger Band, it could be a nice little reject at 410.50. So I didn't get exactly that downtrend bounce, but she started to go. Most of the time in a downtrend, if you see this bullish engulfing pattern, it is going to continue, and it might still take a while, but if you have some patience here, this could end up paying out. You could do the stop loss, similar situation. After this bullish engulfing breakout, wait till it consolidates, get a little bit cheaper, and then go from there. But this looks like a nice little squeeze right now. I have to take a look at the larger time frames. Might take me an hour because of the lag, but the hourly time frame right here has room up to that 410.50. The 30-minute chart is looking a little bullish now off of that. So there's no longer that bearish engulfing for the red side. So I wouldn't really look for the puts unless it's at that top Bollinger Band. 15-minute could see a nice little rejection candle. So, I mean, there is a setup to the downside now. Oh, shit, there it goes, too. I might chase this. I'm gonna chase this. I think this 15-minute chart looks like it could push back down a little bit here. This is a bearish engulfing at the top of this Bollinger Band. It's right at that cost basis of 250. Guys, no way. No way that just happened. Wow. Good shit, Zach. Good shit, Joey. I got stopped. I got bamboozled. Damn, that is crazy. This is probably headed down to that low of the day mark, too. Wow. Wow. I would have been in profit, too. I would have been up. I should have just kept adding on that, honestly. It was the reject at the top of the Bollinger Band. The VWAP level was my stop loss. I wish I was patient because I probably would have bought in at that 230, 220 mark, and now they're at 350. So I hope you guys caught that. I really hope you guys caught that. I was waiting for that downside at this level. Went a little bit higher, stopped me out, as it probably did a lot of people. But that drop right there, I would take that profit any day of the week. You get the premium spike, just went from 170 to 340. And honestly, this might head down to this yellow line. I still have a target of that 407, but these Bollinger Bands are getting tight, and you're not going to get a lot of moves with this. So these big spikes, you got to take them when you can at 360 here. If you have a lot of them, I would probably sell about 70 to 80% of the profits and try to let like 1 to 2 to 3 of them run, depending on how many you bought. But that was a massive spike. Wow. Damn. That hurts. That hurts me. Good trade plan. I got in too early, and then I got stopped out. So I got to respect it. I got to respect the play. But this 15-minute chart now looks very bearish. Could head down to that low of the day mark. But there's not a ton of volume, again. So don't sit here and hold a position that's winning if it's just going to go sideways on you, because these Bollinger Bands are tight as shit. And I don't see a ton of volume on the market today. 22 million in volume at 11:30. That's not a lot. So if you caught that and you're up in profit right now, set your stop loss in profit. Try to follow it as it continues down, or sell some and secure some gains, because there is you can enter on a pullback. I don't think I want to get in. At least I don't think. It's only 77 cents down. You know what I mean? Like we're only moving within a dollar range. So to play the SPX on a premium spike, probably not the best idea. Does look good though. Lots of volume here. Premium spike down. 1 hour. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Maybe I'll get in. That's just like really painful to watch. I would have been up $50 a contract, $60 a contract. Would have been about $200 gain. Instead, I gave back $200. That's about a $400 swing right there. Got in a little bit too early. Got greedy. 410.20 plus VWAP. Good shit. Good shit. If there's a little green candle right here at like 409.88, I will buy some puts. But it looks like it has some nice room down to this yellow line to chop. These son of a bitches. They always get you when you least expect it. 115. As you can notice, these Bollinger Bands are going to start going sideways, and it's going to expand either to the downside as it sells off, or same way to the upside and go to that high of the day mark. So just be really careful. Chop and premium, if you're in SPX, it's never your friend. I can tell you that firsthand. My worst loss day on the SPX was probably over 14 grand because I tried to hold it for a biased opinion that we were going to sell off all day, and we just slowly chopped up, and I lost almost everything in the trade, not my account. But 340, I will look probably around this level, 409, like 88-ish. If I can get one spike little green candle here, get the premium below 300, I would try it one more time. I do have a habit of trying to buy, and then I miss it by like a second. I'm going to pull my limit down to like 290. If you're trading the SPX, you will have a lot more success by playing limit orders below where it's at. My biggest day ever was 73 or 72K off of Zoom puts. I had a 67K day off of Facebook puts one day. Off of SPX, biggest day I think was 10K. So my biggest loser was bigger than my biggest winner on SPX. One day I'm gonna catch the big runs where there's like these contracts are like 150 a piece and they end up going to like 3K a piece. Those days are coming back for sure. When the SPX goes down like $120, like it starts up like $4 and ends up being down 10. Those are the days I cannot wait for again. You can kind of predict them a little bit, like based off of price action and candlesticks. Like yesterday was actually a pretty decent one. I can show you that example real quick. We saw this spike. We did have a little rally at the end of the day, but there was a nice like 413 test, and then we sold all the way off to 410. Those contracts ended up going from like $80 a piece to I think like $1,000 a piece, which was crazy for a second. But there's days like this where you get a whole red candle. I think we were playing that not too long ago. But we'll catch one. We'll catch one here pretty soon. I'm seeing a nice little rip down to 405, which would be massive. I still think that we get down to like these 380s again, but gotta be patient. Did I miss that again by $10? Wow, man, that is crazy. I hope if you guys are in puts, you're looking good right now because this Bollinger Band's starting to expand down a little bit. It's bearish engulfing right here. It's 15-minute sharp. Man, I'm really upset that I missed out on this because I could be up I mean, not a lot. I'd be up $60 a contract on 3, but $75 a contract. But that would still be like $240 right now. On top of the 140 I was up, it'd be up $400 on the day. So even on 3 contracts, you can make a lot of money. If I waited just exactly where I wanted to wait for instead of being greedy, I'd have been chilling. But you guys right now, just to tell you, if you're in on these puts, I missed out on both of them, both of the entries. Right here, I was trying to chase it and I missed it, and then I was trying to catch this little consolidation green candle. But if you're in them right now, you're up $100 a contract or wherever you scaled in. I think that you're good to go. Even a little bit lower, down to that 4913. If you start catching some more volume and we go below this, you're going to be up like, these will be worth like 700 a piece. So if you're in a lot of them or more than one, I would probably scale out right here around 70 to 80% of the play. Take the 410, let 2 ride, and then these could be worth, that could be an extra like $300 to $600 in your pocket. So if you're still in, I would definitely take the profit. Don't let it bounce on you for a double bounce or right below it. Damn, that 15 looks so ugly. This is going to come down to low of the day. If I chase right now, I'm an idiot, but I know it's going to go to low of the day. Wow. Low of the day, inbound, baby. I'm flat on the day. Well, I'm down $100, but I'm flat because that's nothing. But this is, I missed out on this downtrend. That is for sure. But I'm happy if anybody still got in. So if you guys are making money, I am happy. I'm looking at some of the other stocks that would help the market get pulled down. Is Apple looking shitty? As you can see, I am lagging like a motherfucker still. So Tesla's pretty bullish. Amazon's looking weak. Meta's looking weak. Do I have a NVIDIA update? The stock is nuts. And NVIDIA every day has a massive slide. Every day. Slide. Maybe not that day. But a lot of the days, you'll see NVIDIA sell off after a massive spike. And it's probably because it's ran up so much. But every day, even like on these big squeezes, early on in the morning, you'll see like a $3 to $4 to $5 drop. If you can scalp that, you're cooking. And damn, these things are going down to low of the day. Tom, you are an animal. I would definitely take some profits off the table near this low of the day. You don't want to see a double bottom bounce. And we're setting up a cup and handle, inverse cup and handle. So most likely you will see a nice little bounce with some green candles over here and then that breakdown. I don't think we're going to go straight through. We could, so leave some on the table, but these are now $500 a piece. That would have been $220 a contract for me. Would have been $800 a day. That is crazy off of just 3 contracts. These things are cooking. Damn. 3-week, 9-hour-long boot camp. Then in June, I'm opening up a $500,000 trading account and going for the $1 million profit. I'm going to teach you everything I know and then apply it to a $500,000 account. Deck, you are an animal. $500,000 trading account is insane. I don't know. I would never. I don't think I would ever upload that. The most amount my trading account ever was, I always take some profits out. I always do. If you're trading and you have money in your account, let's say you're trading with a $10,000 account and you get that up to $15,000, take out like $2,500. Pay yourself. Make sure you pay yourself, because a lot of the times, and this actually changed my entire perspective, is I would keep using all of that money to trade and I would just go in limbo. I would make this much money and I would lose this much money. And if I wasn't paying myself, I wasn't making any money, right? You got to obviously set aside money for taxes, but if you make $5,000, pay yourself a little bit. Put like $1,000 in the bank. Put like $1,500 in the bank, and just put that elsewhere. Whether you want to invest it long term, whether you want to buy hookers, whether you want to, you know, I don't know, go on a vacation. You could do whatever you want. I would pay yourself so you don't utilize that money to just gamble it away. But as of right here, this little double bottom bounce, as I said, I would probably take some profits at this bottom Bollinger Band. I still think we're going to break below. I have a support line at this 407.75 mark. I don't know if we're going to get there. I think that there's more volume picking up here, at least a little bit. But inverse cup and handles, you most likely see double bottom bounces all the time. So I would just take as much premium as you can at these 540s or of these 4100s. I know a lot of you are in them. You can make a lot of money off of these just by securing the gains and getting back in. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Or at least letting a couple winners ride. What's going on over here? No dip buys from here. I'm on the weak side here. When you see this 15-minute chart play out like this is nothing but weakness. I would wait for a little bit of a green candle to honestly buy some puts, but I'm a little bit hurt that I missed out on that. I won't lie. But today is a beautiful day. I haven't even seen the light of day yet, but we will in a second. How do I get rid of this? I'm going to make these a little bit cheaper and go for the 40-90 puts. They're 200 a piece. I'm going to go 40-95s actually. 330. I'm going to try and get these a little bit cheaper. I want to see the inverse cup and handle play out. So it's going to see a nice little green candle up here to this 409.50, hopefully in the next 10 minutes. And then I would play some puts for that breakdown below low of the day. I think that is an easy play. I'll probably go a ton of contracts, and if I get stopped out, I'd probably max my stop at like $200. And then go down 300 on the morning and then call it a day. But on the upside, I could make probably about $1,000 here. So I'm going to go 5 contracts on this cup and handle, inverse cup and handle. This is a nice little double bottom bounce, but I will wait for the next candlestick here in the next 3 minutes up to this 409.50, and then I would love to play that low of the day break, and I would probably sell that break. So if I can get them for like 270, sell for 370, I might just take like 10 contracts and buy right here around 2,700, and then my stop loss would probably be like 2,400 for $300 stop. 408.60, yeah, I agree. I would wait. If this breaks below it, you're probably going to see a nice little dip buy coming in here. But I have a massive support line at this 407.65. So I cannot believe I missed out on that. I was waiting for that, and I got way too greedy, thinking it was going to happen right here, and I bought it, and it instantly ran up on me. Sometimes that happens. I'm only down $100, but I gave back some gains, and I didn't have that many contracts, but my goal was to wait for one of these and then just continually add as it went down towards this low of the day. Hindsight 2020. Let's just make the next trade. 409.50 is exactly what I'm waiting for. I don't think that we're going to break low of the day just yet. I think that we're going to see this inverse cup and handle. Everybody knows what a cup and handle is by now if you're watching traders. So we're getting this little cup. I'm waiting for the next little handle, and then we're going to break down below to that 409.50 mark, or 408.50, and then potentially down to my red line. But that'd be pretty extreme if we did that. No dip buys for me, though. If you want to play some calls off this low of the day, I wouldn't blame you, but I do see a lot of weakness and a massive trend towards that low of the day mark, which we're probably going to get. If you flip this upside down, this chart, you would buy calls. I can almost guarantee that. You would go for that breakout. If you play the rejection, you have balls of steel. Especially after that bearish engulfing and then more weakness and more volume, and your bulls are massive. But I am going to wait till that 409.50. I don't want to see this break low of the day right now. I know it's right there. Just tapped it. 409.12. That makes me a little bit nervous because now it's running. There's no way it's 1 penny and then a bounce, right? I don't think so. I think that we're going to see a nice little green candle to 409.50 here in the next 20 seconds. We'll get that little pop that I want, and then we'll get that rejection towards even more low of the day. Break below 409 could be a real good play. Is anyone still holding the 4100s, or are you out? All right. All right. YouTube gang. YouTube gang looking good. Still in the 4100s. Joey, you are crushing it. Anybody in on puts down here? All right. My game plan is this inverse cup and handle, right? I know we just see low of the day by 1 penny, but I don't think that that's enough for us to go, especially with these Bollinger Bands trending in that downtrend. I hate this chop more than anything. I really wanted to catch this so badly, but I missed it, and now I'm down $100. But still think I could turn this into a nice little $500, $600 day on this next trade. If I can get this pop up to 409.50, I'm not going to buy down here, especially when this contract is this heavy. I feel like I could end up buying around 2.7, and even if it's 5 contracts, I could make well over $500 on the breakdown. So it could be a $1,000 trade on 5 contracts, but I want to see a green candle up at least another 25 cents so this cup and handle can play out. So we're sitting right at this brim. I want to see the handle piece to it, and then that 409.50 breakdown. So this could take about 5, 10, 15 minutes. I hope I'm not boring you, but that's exactly what I'm looking for. And these contracts could run another $100, $150 a piece. So the low of the day earlier, obviously Theta Decay gets to it. It was worth 520 on this spike down. Now they're only worth 360 or around 400 on this spike down, but the break below could push this above 500, no problem. 4100 is a psychological level over here on the SPX, so be careful of that bounce. 409.80. Damn. I missed it, guys. It's not going to give me the cup and handle that I want. Joey, you are sitting beautiful, though. Like, so good. You bought this Bollinger Band. This is why I play the reversals almost every time I can on the bottom Bollinger Bands or the top Bollinger Bands because, one, the bounce here, rip, rejection here, rip. I know we're at the bottom Bollinger Band here now, but we're kind of entering into a downtrend and a downtrend squeeze. So the TTM squeeze kind of tells me that it could still hug this Bollinger Band and ride its way down, especially with the support level at 408.60-ish and this 407.60-ish. So see a nice little bounce here, thank God. Want to see a little bit of a cup and handle or inverse cup and handle. It's trying to bounce. That's why I play reversals all the time. But I am going to play the inverse cup and handle today. There's a squeeze. There's a 300. Give me like 16 more cents. I want to see actually one more candle, which we'll see here in the next 35 seconds. And that 409.50, I'm going to take some puts. 30 seconds for the next 5-minute candle here. Let me just take a peek at the 15, double bottom bounce. Still feel like we could head lower. Same with the SPX. I feel like we could hit below that 4100, no problem. 320s. I'm going to start scaling in with 2 around 268 just because I don't want to get caught in a squeeze. So give it 7 seconds. We'll get another candle. If I can get one green candle a little bit above this to 409.50-ish, I'm all in on the put side. I just hope it doesn't start breaking down right now. That would be the worst possible thing for me. There we go. Just a couple more green ticks. 409.34. 295. Let's go. Let's get these a little bit cheaper. 409.37. 285. Going in 1 here. 2.8. I'm going to scale into probably 5 of these at 409.50. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. 409.44. Starting to form that inverse cup and handle pattern on us. Getting that bullish move. Trying to get 2.7 here. Trying to scale in 1 more. Mike, I'm lagging so fucking hard. I hate trying to trade on this. I gotta get an Ethernet cable or something. I got 2 at 2.80. I'm trying to go for 5 contracts here. I will stop myself out if it gets above this 409.57. So small losses always for me, always. But these were just worth over 400 a piece here. So if I end up buying 10 of these, it could be 1,200 bucks. I'm not going to buy into the rip. I'm going to try to slowly scale into it. Pretty risky trade here because it is choppy, but I do see a lot of downside to come. So I'm waiting for that 409.50-ish mark, and I will set my stop loss pretty small above that. The thing that freaks me out the most is it did already hit that low of the day, so I don't have as much confidence that it's going to come down and continue to break below, because if it didn't hit low of the day, I would have way more confidence that it was going to break below low of the day. But the fact that it hit it then bounced kind of freaks me out a little bit. So don't go too heavy on this. I'm not going to go too heavy on this. 1, because I'm lagging, and 2, because I'm lagging. And that low of the day was already kind of hit in there, so I don't want to see that just continually squeeze. And I'm more so a reversal trader, so I don't like to buy puts at the bottom of these Bollinger Bands. But this little consolidation makes me feel like it has some room down to hit below that 409. And we can see a real big sell-off, so it is setting up nicely for the downside. If people are still in these 4100s, could be pretty good. I also agree that it could be oversold, and it is a bullish sign to get in now that it already hit that low of the day. But I'm only in 2, treading lightly, and my stop loss is always going to be small no matter what right here at this purple line. So I'll make it purple so everybody can see that that is my stop loss right there. I'll get rid of these other lines because there's a shit ton of them. But that's kind of what I got going on right now. This 410 I'm probably going to keep as a resistance line real quick, because that's where the VWAP line is, and I'll extend this to the left or the right as well. So kind of just waiting for this little pullback. I know this kind of like rocky seesaw thing. I feel like we could get a nice sell-off down to this 408.50 level if we can get below 409, which I don't think is a bad possibility. I'm only down $10 a contract on the trade. I want to see one little spike up for me to add one more around this purple line test. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more patient on this one, because obviously I got stopped out right here, and I could have made a bag off of it, but nice little $600 play would have been cool. But even if this goes right now on 2 contracts, could still be a nice little $300-some profit. So getting some buyers here. I don't like that. 409.60. Down about 40 a contract. It's about 80 bucks. $245. I'm gonna go one more at 245 here if it lets me in. You guys can see this cup and handle or inverse cup and handle that I'm trying to play here. Small stop right here. So it'd be about $200 in total. I'd be down about 300. I would probably call it a morning, to be honest, just because I missed my big trade. I really only try to take like 1 or 2 big trades a day, and I didn't end up making this 10 contracts or 20 contracts. This candle is going to be everything here. If we can get a little bit more bullishness right here, I might take an extra call here. I might actually try to get one right now at 265. I have a limit at 240 here. As soon as that candlestick turns green, I'll probably try to get one more. I don't want to just have 2 because then I won't make that much money on this. But I'm just trying to make sure I don't get caught in a squeeze. The only reason that I'm hesitant is this 409.04 level. Because it already made that low of the day is what makes me scared that it's not going to have that inverse cup and handle formation. It's starting to play out for us a little bit right now. I'm sad that I only have 2, but I'm just trying to be smart, especially when I'm playing against profits. I don't want to just continually dive myself in the red. I'm more aggressive when I have profits in the green. I'm only up 10% on the trade, but pretty decent scale. And you saw me try to get in at 240 and it missed me again. It's hard to play these the SPX when there's not a ton of volatility. I'm up $50 a contract right now. I'm only up 2. Only on 2. It's a nice trade right there if you wanted to take it out. I only have 2 contracts, so I'm going to try to let it ride out for that low of the day break of 409. I still think we get there. Great trade. I didn't have enough contracts because I was a little hesitant on the squeeze because of the low of the day mark, but I'm up 32%. We did just hit low of the day. I want to see if we can get below 409 here. If it bounces up, then it bounces up, but put me back in the profit. I'm obviously not going to be up a lot on this, but I want to see if we can get below 4,100. I feel like these contracts could be worth 500 a piece here in a second if we can get below 409. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. If you got in there, congrats. You probably bought way more contracts than me. 409.03, 409.02. They're at 400. I mean, you're up $110 a contract. So I'm up 240 on 2 contracts. Kind of want more, but that 409 is pretty strong, so I'm gonna probably end up selling out one of these if it lets me out here. I just sold one at 410. I don't know if it's gonna bounce at 409 or not, so probably should have bought 10. Fuck, that was my original game plan. But I'll take the profit to put me back in the green. I'm up 115 on the day. That was a really good trade, obviously, but I'm not happy with my position sizing. I probably should have bought more. I still think it's going to go lower than 409, but obviously secure your gains, secure your profitability at all times. It did just hit low of the day, and now it's kind of bouncing. It kind of makes me feel like it might start to recover a little bit, but that's not a heavy bounce. It's only about 10 cents, so looks like it could still head below that 409. Just got to be careful of this 401 on the SPX as well, since we're playing SPX. I might just secure this because that was a good trade. I'm back in the green. I'll probably reassess for a bigger trade later on if I can get in. And there's not a lot of volume in these contracts either, like at all, actually. So I'm only up $100 on the day. I'm going to take that. I'm up 105, so made about 240 on 2 contracts there. So great trade, $100 and some a contract. I just wanted to be back in the green. I'm going to try to push this live above a $500 a day or a $1,000 a day. I just don't want to get caught at that 409 bounce level. So I hate trying to make a lot of money off of just 2 contracts. I probably should have scaled in a little bit more. That was the game plan all along, is that 409.50 inverse cup. Still feel like we're going to break below that 409, but just want to make sure that I'm securing gains while I have them for now, while it's choppy. If you're still in them and you're crushing it, Congrats. I feel like these contracts could be worth over 500 a piece. Here in like 409.70, probably get a nice premium spike. But I'm a little bit worried about that 4100 level and that 409 level. But I can coach you through it if you're still in. Is anybody in? Do I need to coach anybody through this? I can tell you, I can read this data for you if it's going to break or not. Still sitting through this heat, waiting for $4,100 touch. Okay. So if you're in, Joey, I can talk you through this real quick. I 700 to buy at the 09 level, 08. So there's probably, you're probably going to get a little spike up to like 409, like 15-ish, 409.20-ish before you see that 409 break, but you should get it. In my opinion, you should get it as of right now. Seeing a lot of transactions on the time and sales. You're probably going to get another little spike up to 409.15 here. 500 to buy, 600 to buy. 1 to sell. 2 to sell. They're baiting it. They're baiting it. I think that they're going to push this. Yeah, you got a 409.15 right here. The time and sales is going crazy. You're getting a lot of transactions here, so there's going to be a massive move here in a second. So make sure you set your stop loss on a reversal spike here. You got that 409.15 tap. Got 3,400 to sell. You're probably going to get that low of the day. Those massive sell orders usually push in unless they get taken and a big buyer comes in. So when you see a lot of these green orders like this come through, that shows that there's a big massive seller just transacting with another big, probably institution. But algos are going nuts. To me, you got the, unless you get 409.18, it's going to go to that low of the day. So you'll get that break. You'll get that break probably right here. You'll get a nice little spike down below 409. Be careful of the tap. You're probably going to get 408, like 80-ish, 408.90 something. Yeah, so here's 408.97. You get that spike. Wait for that little spike back up, which is right there. So just be careful that you get a nice little squeeze up. The contracts aren't reacting as much for that breakdown. The other, I think it was a 410. So just be careful. If you're still riding it and you think it's going to go down, I personally think you're going to get that pull down to like that 408.60 level, but just be careful. The Bollinger Band is riding its way down. The TTM squeeze is strong. Doesn't have a ton of volume in it, but you're right at this 409 level. Like I said, it's going to be a pretty tough break for that 409 and that 401 level. But as soon as we get it and you get a big, massive sell order right here below the 409 level, you could dump this pretty nicely, about 30 cents. You should probably push this to about 450. I'm going to take my 105 for the day. I should be up over $1,000 off of this one and this one. If I didn't get stopped at this level and I rode this down, I would have went so heavy on this bear flag, it would have been ridiculous. The way I trade is I start out small always to try to ramp up like $200, $300 profit in the morning, and then I go decently heavy to try to get it to about 700 to 800, and then I go really heavy with about a $400 stop loss. So I play with the house money, and then if it's a $400 stop loss, that means I can buy 10 contracts and give myself some leeway. And then on 10 contracts, it spikes, I can go up like $2,000, no problem. Kick back, waiting for prime puts on SPY. Yeah, I wouldn't buy puts down here. If you're holding puts, I'm probably scaling out at this level. You can see the premium start to stall out here. You're still up pretty nicely. I know a lot of people were playing around like 200-ish. Oh, these are the 4095s. I thought these were the 4100s. I don't even want to know what the 4100s are. Oh, I mean, they still went well. They still did well, but not as much as I thought. They got up above 600. I think that might be the bottom, at least short term here. It's going to chop. Premium's going to probably get decayed. That's probably the last big spike down you're going to see unless there's about one more. And other than that, I think that even if it does start to sell off a lot today, it'll be a slow chop. But I caught that bear flag. I ended up making back this $240 loss that put me down $100 and some. So I made back about $240. I've been bouncing back and forth a lot this afternoon. I should be up over $1,000, but I got a little hesitant here. I was jumped the gun, and then I got stopped out right here, and then the next candlestick broke it down. So I could have made about $700, $800 on this trade right here on the pullback, and then I could have used that profit for this. But hindsight's 2020. I'm still green, still $100. I'm gonna probably come back and trade once I see some more volatility. It's dead hours right now around noon. I'm gonna go eat something real quick. But if you caught this pullback, congrats. That was about $110 a trade, and if you got this one, that's about $300. I got in early, but I tried to scale it a little bit to average it out, and I stopped myself. So this was a great trade. This is probably the best trade of the day. You're probably not going to get a much better one than that unless there's a power hour move. And this one was still a really great trade as well. So hopefully you got something out of that. I talked through it a lot, and not a lot of execution on my end. But I do lag every time I'm on this, which is pretty frustrating. So I might go to the Verizon store and get an Ethernet cable because I feel like that might be better for me. At that point, I would feel comfortable putting more risk on. So I think that you're going to chop for a while. If your inputs, more power to you, but just be careful of the theta decay. And if it bounces at all above this level and starts squeezing, you're going to lose a lot of that contract premium. So keep your stops, follow them. Keep it at like 5.4 or 5.3 here, just in case. But 2/3 left, SPX 4100 puts. I think they look good. Just make sure that you're keeping your stop loss small. Don't give back all those profits. If you bought in at like 240, just keep your stop loss behind it all. You're losing that 409 level right now, so not a lot of buyers are stepping in. So you could be good all the way down to this 408.70. I probably wouldn't hold much more past 408, like 80-ish, 408.70-ish. I would probably just secure those gains around like 700 a piece and call it a day. You're at new low of the day right now, but it is starting to sell off pretty nicely. You could hug this Bollinger Band and continually ride down. I wouldn't risk that. You're up a good amount. I'd probably take that. This 409 seems to be a magnet right now, and this 4100 on the SPX, you're only $1 away. I would secure that as a win. But Dan, I love you. This has been a pretty choppy morning for me, back and forth. Only up $100. Should be up 1,000, but I wasn't patient enough. I don't want to blame the lag, but the lag definitely plays a factor in like my ins and outs. But I'm gonna figure that out. I'm gonna speed up the connection somehow through streaming, and this looks like it might be a bottom. So make sure you secure your gains. But I will be back. I'm gonna try to still push this to about a $500 to $1,000 day. It's not a lot of volume out there, so we got to take what we can get. Take your profits very fast. The market's been super choppy. There's only been about 2 trades that were really good today. It was this little pop-up, drop down. This, definitely the best. This call side bounce is pretty nice too. So there's about 3 or 4 opportunities today. You could have made good money on the SPX. I haven't looked at anything else, so I'm sure there was more, except for Spotify. Spotify was beautiful this morning. Now that there's more people watching this, Spotify was ridiculous. This pop-up, 145 down to 137. That $700 difference or $7 difference was about a 300% trade on spot. But that's about all I got. If you have any questions, as always, hit me up. Hopefully you caught that bear flag. I didn't size up appropriately, but still made some money. Can't be mad about being up $100 in green. Maybe I'll have a nice little 4-star lunch. But hit me up if you need anything. I will be back most likely in the afternoon if I see any opportunities. But for now, love every single one of you.